Central Texas educator is angry, yet says she's forgiven the student who attacked her at school in August, leaving her blind in one eye. Candra Rogers is the assistant principal at Collins Intermediate in Corsicana ISD.
Julie Hayes sat down with her for her first interview and shows us how, despite her now daily struggles, she is keeping the faith.
Candra Rogers is an educator down to her core.
What kept you in education for 30 years?
Kids, the people that I see every day, the difference that I make for them.
The 56-year-old was born the daughter of a school teacher. Raised in Maynard, Texas, education wasn't what she dreamed of doing, but 2 years into marriage and a baby later, her husband Eugene got his first teaching and coaching job, and she started working at a school in the same district.
That was the first job that we could find. We had a little 18-month-old at the time.
It didn't take long for Candra to realize education was her calling.
Education has been my ministry.
For nearly 3 decades, the educator and coach duo moved around Texas, touching the lives of students. Life came full circle earlier this year when Eugene was offered a job at his alma mater of Corsicana High School as the head football coach. Candra became the assistant principal at Collins Intermediate in Corsicana in February. An exciting new school year was underway in August when everything changed.
And so I was really excited about this school year, and it started off well until it didn't.
Attention all teachers, can I get Miss Rogers to the homeroom for assistance?
I was sitting with one of the teachers, and I heard a call over the radio from our behavioral class needing some assistance.
When Rogers arrived to the classroom, the teacher and other students were outside of the room. Rogers learned 2 students had gotten into a fight. One of them, a 6th grade boy, remained in the classroom enraged. Mrs. Rogers went in to try and help.
He started throwing chairs. I caught the first one, and he threw another. I blocked that one. He found the hanger and threw that, and I couldn't block that fast enough. And it caught me in my eye. Knocked it out.
Do you remember that hanger coming toward you, and do you remember the impact and what you felt when it happened?
I do. I've learned to be calm when things are bad. And so I was calm throughout that whole situation and remained calm, so much so that after I got hit, I stumbled out of the classroom. So I was holding my eye and bleeding, and went out, and I called my husband to come get me because I didn't know the severity. My husband actually got there and saw me with my eye hanging out.
Rogers was flown from her school campus by helicopter to Parkland Hospital in Dallas.
The nurse was with me, and I just started saying, "Oh Jesus, and just praying.
She underwent surgery to put her eye back in the socket. Doctors left the eye, initially with hopes that she'd regain her vision. Those hopes have since diminished.
Can you see anything out of that eye?
Nothing.
Rogers' story shocked people nationwide. After being released from the hospital and in an effort to slow reporters' phone calls, the principal, who calls herself extremely private, held a press conference where she read a statement. Rogers put much of the blame on Governor Greg Abbott.
It's wrong to have so many mandates that make educating our public school children more difficult. It's wrong to take money from grossly underfunded schools. I believe in public school education, but what happened to me should never happen to another educator. Mr. Abbott, release the funds because you are also culpable for what happened to me. Thank you for your time.
Rogers says she wonders how her outcome may have been different if schools had the funding they needed in order to provide better services for students with behavior issues, or had more equipped staff or smaller class sizes. She says she stands by every word she said then, today.
Yes, I do.
The Get Well cards have been pouring in from current students to students of years past, and even strangers.
And this one's pretty cool. It's hard to know how little or how much to say when someone you care about is going through something like this.
Roger's son and daughter-in-law left their jobs in Houston to move in and help her.
She knows that she's my favorite.
Her 8-year-old granddaughter is also living with her.
I love you, Cece.
I love you too, baby girl.
Roger said the trauma has affected her entire family.
And so what was very difficult for me was her being afraid of me after this, because I have pictures. I can show you pictures of the after.
The principal is in counseling and says she's angry, but because of her faith, she's forgiven the student.
It was a poor choice on his part. That's the way I feel about it. And his poor choice has affected me for the rest of my life.
You've forgiven this student?
I had to. I had to.
Who are you angry with?
I am angry with the student. And I am angry with the student's parents. I am angry with our state system, because no educator should go to work and end up being airlifted to a hospital.
Mrs. Rogers said for now she's taking it day by day, and despite being blinded, she still found reasons to be thankful. She's not sure if she'll ever return to school, but the career educator says she has some pretty good motivation to try.
I think a lot of people would hear your story and hear what you're saying and think, with all of this that educators are dealing with and that you personally dealt with, why would you return to being one?
To save the one. To help the one. If there's one that I can help, then the one.
Reporting in Corsicana, I'm Julie Hayes.